Hello, everyone. We are so glad that you joined us for Colorado Spirit COVID-19 response team. We have our Weld Wellness every Thursday at 12:30, and we're glad you're here. Today, Shauna and myself are going to be continuing on with part two of the relationship series. I'm Renee. I am the child specialist on our team. And Shauna, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yes. Hi, everyone. Shauna. I am our team lead. And as Renee said, in our previous series on relationship, we kind of provided 4 tips to utilize in those romantic relationships. And today we just want to share some tips that you can utilize across relationships. So with colleagues, with friends, also with family.
Awesome. I just want to remind everyone that we are available to communicate in the chat. You can also reach out on the warm line. That number is 970-347-2359. So please reach out to us. We want to support our community. We are here for you. We know it's just been some trying times, which is why we wanted to talk about relationships. So last week, Amy and Shauna talked about romantic relationships, and today we're going to continue with 4 strategies to kind of establish and have regarding relationships, like Shauna was saying, whether it's work relationships, friendships, distant relatives, neighbors.
Yes.
So
awesome. And so with that, our first tip is around boundaries, right? Everyone's favorite word. These are super beneficial, especially in family relationships. Sometimes we don't always have the same beliefs or value systems. This can also be true with friends. And understanding which topics you guys see eye to eye on and maybe don't, and establishing rules or guidelines around that is helpful. We, in my own family, these can be utilized in many ways. For example, especially with, the pandemic and the kids being out of school and spending so much time at home, there was a period there where my daughter every weekend wanted to go outside and meet friends at the store and maybe go to the mall. And we had to set up a boundary and say, we can't do this every single weekend. And setting up some guidelines around when could be a time to do that. If you're someone who's working from home, these boundaries can be imperative for healthy relationships in work. It's so easy when we clock out to still maybe hop on our email and check on a few things, or I'm guilty of saying on a Sunday night, hey, I'm just going to hop on and do a couple things to get prepared for the week. And so making sure we have boundaries in our work as well, if we are doing that from home.
yes, and I know that I'm guilty of that as well. Even though we have an established workspace for me working remote, there still is that desire to not have any unfinished things on my plate at work. So the next thing we're going to talk about is a healthy agree to disagree and letting things go. Right now in our culture, there are so many hot topics. There are a lot of divisions that we're experiencing. So, and the media, there's a lot of information going on, and there's a lot of things that you can completely disagree with someone on. And it is okay to still have a relationship with people and not agree on everything. And so I think that there is that component of, wanting to be right and wanting to be heard can be intense, but it can also lead to long-term, hurt feelings and impact a relationship. And it doesn't have to be that way. We can disagree with our loved ones and still be in one another's lives and circles. but recognizing that maybe there's topics that you just don't discuss. And that kind of establishes, that kind of ties into what Shauna was talking about with those boundaries.
Yeah. And with that, you know, I know we brought this up in terms of romantic relationships, but it is true for maintaining healthy relationships just across the board, is taking time out for ourselves, right? We call it self-care too, but really carving out time to make sure that we can find serenity. If you're someone that does this on a daily basis, that's great. Maybe you even use 15 minutes daily. But to find some serenity and grounding helps us go back to other relationships just feeling more refreshed. With romantic relationships, you know, we said it could, absence makes the heart grow fonder, and this can bring a new refreshment to even our relationships with our colleagues, family, our neighbors. I know that with the snow recently, there's been quite a few more people pitching in and helping each other shovel each other's yards, and it's like we feel more capable of doing those things when we also take the time out for ourselves.
Exactly. And I think too, when you're talking about that healthy balance, and especially if you have a relationship that is damaged, or there are hurt feelings based on some hot topics, it's okay to kind of detach and take a minute from that relationship. But this is also a really great time to reconnect with an old friend or a distant relative. Maybe you haven't spoken to an old cousin or an aunt that you haven't talked to in a while, because we've not been traveling and not having our traditional family gatherings in a lot of ways. So this could be a way for you to just reach out to somebody that you haven't talked to in a while. I know that for myself, I really am thinking about some of our elderly members of our community right now. And so maybe it's a good time to reach out to an old aunt who maybe doesn't drive anymore, and just kind of see how you can support them. Maybe you could order their groceries online, or make arrangements for someone to deliver that, or deliver it yourself if you're nearby, and just remain to be, healthy and socially distant and compliant with the local guidelines that are in place where you are. So, those are just a few things. We've got boundaries. We talked about agreeing to disagree, having a timeout or detach, and then reconnect with an old friend or family member. So please know that we are here. Our program is very much still around and wanting to support our community. Shauna, do you want to talk about how they can connect with us?
Yes, as Renee said, you can call our warm line at 970-347-2359. You can also reach us by email at colorado.spirit@northrange.org. Of course, you can connect with us on Facebook, leave a comment, send us a message. Again, all our services are at no cost to you, and they're also confidential.
We're so glad you joined us today, and we will be doing another Weld Wellness on next Thursday at 12:30, same time, new topic. So stay tuned.
Thanks for joining, everyone. See you later.
Bye. Have a great day.